I love you, Bubs. Who's my handsomest guy? Okay, bye-bye. I love you. I'll see you in a little bit. Be my best boy. 203. Okay. Hello, y'all. This is not such a throwback, though. It's very reminiscent of what 2016, 2017 time. I'm giving you guys like a real-time update on just how life is right now. Over on Instagram, then you probably already know this part of the story, but I wanted just to chat with you guys about some things that have happened in my career in the past 6-7 months. Doing YouTube, sharing content, and helping anyone out there to either not feel alone or to just give insight on like career stuff, or accounting or audit topics or whatever the case may be, internal controls topics. So I just want to get back into it. I've really been feeling like a calling to come back, and I appreciate you, those of the Stefie fam who have been with me for a long time and who have kind of gone through all of these different life transitions with me. Yeah, so anyways, okay, let's get into it. Obviously you saw the title of the video. So yes, I got laid off from my job. I truly feel like everything happens for a reason. There's a lesson to be learned in every situation you're put in. Okay, person, bam.
A few moments later.
Isn't that such a throwback song, I swear. Also, I finally figured out how to get my car mount to work. And I don't know how the beginning part of this car chat looked, so I might have to just redo it. It's fine either way. I'm adding that to my wedding playlist because I love that song. This morning I went to a CPE event that was going on in Fort Worth. Being in industry now, and especially like there's some companies that will like pay for your CPE and CPA license and stuff. My current company does not. So I am having to figure out how to get my CPE in a cost-effective way. I'm gonna be really quick and run up into, sorry, person. Can you go around, please? Sorry. Thank you. So sorry. Thank you. I'm trying to park right here, my friend. I could only come for the morning. I have to get back and do some work. So yeah, hold on. I'm gonna run in and grab my Gus's fried chicken, y'all. Secured the goods. 40-minute drive, and I don't think I have enough battery for 40 minutes, so I'm just gonna try to do this real quick. I'll go into a whole bunch of detail later on in future videos, but I wanted to fill y'all in on just changes in my life. Obviously there's a lot of changes in my personal life, this more so being about my professional life. You guys saw the title of the video. I got laid off from my dream job. My entire team was laid off in a pre-IPO environment. They are private equity backed, more risky in the sense of private equity companies, they purchase companies to basically flip them. Well, flip them, you know, in a sense, meaning that eventually they're going to sell that company off either to another private equity firm, to a private buyer, or the exit plan could be going public. That was a potential with the company, so that's why my department was brought on. Like it was my dream job because like I literally, obviously with my boss, was able to build like an entire internal controls team literally from the ground up, like meaning methodology, system that we were using, helping to like design and implement controls throughout the organization, helping with policy creation, all of that other stuff. So like such great professional experience. There was obviously some challenges. I think I've mentioned it in recent videos about, you know, the industry that I was in, very female dominated especially, and you know, anyways, I've talked about a lot of the struggles. I'll talk more in detail, but anyways, as an update, earlier this year there was leadership changes, and just the messaging that I was hearing was, and everyone was hearing, the messaging that they were giving was like things were going to get reprioritized, etc., etc. But I could just tell that like my department, internal controls, I could just tell that it was becoming less of a priority. One, in some of the like messaging and kind of like sly ways of saying things, and then just some things happening within the organization that are like kind of textbook. You know, like you learn about stuff in college, but then you're like, oh, that would never happen in real life. Some of this stuff happens in real life, and one day maybe we'll talk about it. Because I was getting these like hints, and my instincts were telling me like, hey, I don't really feel stable in my position in this company, and now that my personal life is different past 3.5 years, you know, it's all been just me and Juicy, of course, when I had her. So the decisions I made from a professional standpoint, I was okay with and comfortable with and whatnot, to take on more risk because it was just me. Now, I am engaged, as you guys know. Do you guys know that? Have I told you guys this? Yeah, I think so. Sorry. I'm engaged. I'm getting married in a few months. My fiance, he has 2 boys, so I will also be a bonus adult in their life. There's a lot of joy and positive things in it. There's also a lot of challenges. And yeah, so anyways, it's something that I'm still growing through and just figuring out. That's another topic for another day. But because I was feeling like this uncertainty and whatnot, I had been talking to other companies, and again, can talk more in detail later on. I'm so grateful for the timing of things because I got the job offer for the current job that I have now, and when I got that offer, I talked to my boss about it, who you guys know I've worked with for many years now. I got the offer, and I talked to him like a Thursday before a holiday weekend. The holiday weekend came. That Tuesday we were all in office, and that's the day that they eliminated my department. They eliminated a bunch of other really great people's positions, who all of them were brought on with the intention of IPO, meaning people with like very technical gap knowledge, things like that. The exact thing that I was hoping would not happen happened, and I was ready for it. I had talked to certain team members just about like how they were feeling about, you know, the messaging of things and whatnot, but it's like at that point in my last job, I was a director of internal controls. You know, it's like, how do you, without really truly knowing what is going on, how do you, you know, like, you don't want to just stir up anxiety with people, like, we're gonna be out of jobs, like, you know, if you don't truly know that. And like literally everyone was blindsided. My boss was blindsided, had no idea that it was gonna happen. It's very eye-opening because you feel like you give and give and give to a company. My decision that was more conducive to like what I wanted in my personal life versus my professional life, because as you guys know, my professional life has for the most part been at the forefront. Like that's been my main thing throughout my adult life. There's a lot obviously to unpack from like childhood traumas and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, my why has always been the same thing. I want to eventually one day be in a position where I can, you know, provide for my family, my future family, and not only provide financially, but like from an emotional, mental standpoint. And the job I had, even though it was like my dream job, it was everything that I wanted on paper. I had it in that job. But on the flip side, taking on more risk, you're taking more responsibility, and you should be compensated appropriately for that. And it's not to say that like I don't want that again eventually, but I think what I'm like still processing and getting through is to some degree like that decision for me to talk with another company, you know, like and all that other stuff, and like to let go of like my quote-unquote dream job. I've still been processing that because it's like that's what I want to continue doing that. I just can't have it all, and that is a hard pill to swallow. Obviously, if I was like voluntarily walking away, obviously that's not even an option, because it, you know, like I got laid off and my whole team got laid off. That's not an option to be there. There's a lot of emotions that I'm still going through. I think part of it is like kind of grieving like that chapter of my life. I feel like grieving of just some chapters closing and starting of new ones. It's kind of like a very weird like coexisting of things. It's totally normal and valid to have opposing emotions existing at the same time. Like, I'm so happy and joyful and peaceful with like parts of my personal life, most of my personal life. There are some parts of that I can't control. On the flip side, it's like really missing like that fire and enjoyment of my profession as well. Like, I don't know, it's I'm just going through it, y'all, but I'm very grateful to have the job that I have now. So I've landed on my feet. I'm still getting used to my new job, and I was looking for a new job was I needed better just work-life balance. I needed to be able to make my personal life a priority, or at least be able to like, hey, I'm done for the day, I'm gonna go focus on my personal life. Obviously that's not going to be all the time, but I needed that to be more of the norm versus the exception. And so that was one thing. The second thing was I needed to have better benefits from like maternity leave, insurance, PTO, stuff like that. Because one day, you know, like if I'm blessed and able to have a bio child, like that's what I'm wanting. And so the prior job doesn't have those benefits, which again, that's another one of those things where it's like, okay, there's certain red flags to look out for in certain jobs, or in jobs, one of them being benefits. Obviously compensation is like a full package thing. It's not just, you know, your salary. You know what they say, like, if you build it, they will come. That's what I'm kind of trying to focus on, is like, okay, if I put myself in positions to support the life that I want, which is to add to my family one day. Obviously I don't want it like tomorrow, but like the stress I was under in my previous job was not being conducive to that. Benefits not being there was not being conducive to that. So trying to make decisions that will be in line with that future life, that's kind of where I'm focusing right now. And even though I know that's what I want, trying to unlearn and like be okay with, hey, taking a quote-unquote step back right now. If the right opportunity came around, I would jump back in the saddle, obviously, but for right now, like taking a slower pace, being part of a more established company with more hierarchy, a company where there's like actual deadlines set out way in advance, where you know, everything is not a fire drill, just a lot of transitions. And I think it's okay to slow down, to just enjoy where I'm at in life. Everything's temporary. Like, your highs are great, but they're temporary. Your lows are awful, but they're temporary. And then there's stuff in the middle. Yeah, it's just different. But I have time to relax. I have time to focus on my personal life. I have time to wedding plan and work out and sleep and not be stressed out about work. So all of that is really great. And the other thing too is, like, I know right now what I can focus on is myself and what I can control. And one of those things is like wanting to be more creative again here on YouTube. I have all these ideas for like sharing any info about like processes, kind of like give you tips on what to look out for, like even if you're working in AP or if you're working in AR or the GL or whatever the case may be, like give you tips, things to think about to just like up your game in your job from an internal controls, internal audit perspective. So anyways, those are things I'm thinking about. But that's the update. I got laid off, y'all. And luckily I had a backup plan. And so my takeaways from that situation was, number one, trust your instincts. That doesn't mean that your first initial gut reaction is always going to be true, but I think that it tells you that there's something to dig into a little bit more, something to just be patient about, get more information on, let experiences and situations show themselves to either like support whatever that initial gut reaction was, or maybe you're going to get more information and evidence and things like that that are going to make you question it. Everything works out for a reason. So anyways, that's the first thing. The second thing that I learned is that like you do not owe your loyalty to a company just because you're a good person. You're still a good person even if you're looking for another job out there somewhere. Like your loyalty should be to people, not to companies per se. We made it home. Well, I made it home. Right, Bubby? Who's me handsome? Bubba. I know, I'm trying to get further away. Oh my goodness. Who's handsome? Who? Is that Brew? Is that Bubs? Can I get smooch? You don't want to show. Okay. He act like he don't love his mama, but he loves his mama. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright. Okay, y'all. So I am done for the day. My camera died on my way home, but I hope I got my point across. Fill you in on, you know, life changes. Also, I bought a hydro jug at Aces over the weekend. They were having some kind of like charity something or other, and I got 20% off of it, and I love this. The boys and Gigi have Stanleys. I have a simple modern, and this I love. I think this is like, I love it so much. The reason is because it has a built-in straw, can fit in the cup holder, and just watch, it's gonna do it. It's awesome. Like, it is spill proof. So that's awesome, especially if you have little ones or just yourself. I throw things in my gym bag and it can get all over the place. So yeah, with everything I shared with you guys, I'm doing okay. I have landed on my feet. I have a new job. Oh, what I didn't mention though was that the job I'm working at now, I took a step down in title. So instead of being a director, I'm a senior manager again, but my salary is the same. It's slightly more than what I was making before, which is kind of a funny coinkydink. Better benefits, better work-life balance. I know all in all it sounds all positive. It's more so like a mental thing that I'm working through, but I'm just going to do my best to stay positive and just enjoy the season. Like right now, career is not at the forefront, and that's okay. If you have any questions, want me to go into more detail about anything, if anything would be insightful for me to share, in case it would be helpful in whatever part of your journey that you're in at the moment, definitely let me know. Also, at the CPE event, I did bump into one of y'all, so hi Leah. I'm so glad we got to chat for a little bit, and yeah, so okie dokie. Well, I don't know how else to end this, so I'm going to get to it, and yeah, I will be seeing y'all soon.